YouTube? This is Charlie426, and today we have the Master Grade Guncannon review. Now, this is one of those Master Grade kits that's been on my list for a long time, and has been haunting my list for a long time, but I finally got a chance to get it, and, finally get to review it. First of all, the kit itself is, it's a pretty old kit, which a lot of people saying requires a 2.0, and I do agree, but at the same time, that does not mean this kit itself is a bad kit at all. So anyway, let's get on to the review. First of all, what you get, of course, is the Master Grade Guncannon itself. You get a core block and a core fighter. As you can see, I have the core fighter out, which means the core block is inside. So that's that. You get you get a sticker decal sheet, and then a dry transfer decal sheet. As you can see, I didn't use much. I only used the small numbers of 426 that I used on the chest. So that's that. And and one sticker decal, which is also under on the chest, the EFSF logo decal sticker. Now you get a pilot figure. One goes into the kit itself, and the standing one. They're not any special characters like Kai Shiden. You just get the normal Federation pilot figure. What else you get is a beam rifle, but not exactly the same one as the ARC-78, but something like it. And then you get two missile pods. I decided to use the cannons. I will show you guys how this works. And then you get two grenades. Yeah, these are actually grenades. One is on the inside the leg. I will show you guys how you install these into the leg. And finally, you have two open hands with articulated wrist, but can only move in one direction. For each hand, of course. So let's get on to the review. First of all, my camera somehow makes the red color a bit darkish red, but it's kind of bright red. So just letting you guys know, like a tomato red. Okay, so let's get on to the head. Now the head details were pretty impressive in my opinion. Now the only thing I did to the head was some panel lining on the head itself, like that. And then behind the visor, I colored it in metallic silver, but seems like in this case it's not showing that much. Doesn't really show any effects this time. So that's that. Okay, the head. The one thing I need to mention are the antennas. They're the most fragile part at the same time, but they don't seem to be get stuck in there. They kind of move a little bit if you touch them. So just letting you guys know. The head itself has some articulation. Can go down that much. And then up a lot because there's actually one articulated part of the neck joint. That's something that's for a certain pose. And 360, yeah. Technically, I believe if you can work your way through, you can pull it off, but it's not really recommended. And funny thing is that those yellow Vulcan pieces on the head, Vulcan barrels actually, those are actually separated pieces. So that's a pretty impressive thing. But at the same time, they're kind of tricky to get in. So just letting you guys know. In what sense the cannons are on the head/shoulder area. Oh boy. And this is the part I should explain. Now, the cannons. Now, as you can see, I guess I didn't connect it properly, but basically how this works is that there's a polycap inside here, and there's a peg right out here, and all you need to do is connect it. You just plug it in, and there you go. You can move it around. But of course, I think I didn't position the plugs correctly, so that's why I'm having some issues right now. Because the way how this is supposed to work is that it's supposed to move like that. So let me try that again. Okay, so what I'm having issues is that it's not really plugged in properly. I'll fix that later, but the way how the cannons works is that you can move it up and down, pretty much that's how it works. If you want to use the missile pods, you have to take off the entire thing, and then once again there's another polycap peg in there, and you just need to push it in, but it's a very, very firm connection to that, so you gotta add some extra strength into it. But once you're in, you can also move the missile pods as well. Now personally, I wouldn't mind getting a second gun cannon to use the missile pods. I think I'll be sticking to the cannons. And careful once you take those out, because they are pretty I wouldn't say fragile, but if you're not careful, you might break the peg itself. So that's that. Okay, now for the main body. The main body, once again, this being an old Master, there's no exactly ab crunch. Also, rotating the body not really possible because of the the waist armor is kind of blocking, and the other parts of the armor is blocking. But what you can do is you can take it off pretty easily and reveals the core block. At this point, it's really your choice. You can use the core fighter, you can fold this up, take the wheels off, fold it up, and then do this and yada yada. You can do the core fighter, use the core fighter, but personally, I don't like using core fighters. To be honest, I don't really like even building core fighters. Hence, I'm not a big fan of the 2.0 core fighters, especially. So yeah, and that's that. And as Jabman025 mentioned, this is the 1.0 version, so it does not work on the 2.0 version in either way. So, okay, with the core fighters, there's some articulation you can kind of move, but that's pretty much it for this only. Once you have the main body on, that's pretty much it, and you have the pilot inside there. Okay, I used the 426, and this is the sticker decal. Okay, now for the arms. The arms, nothing too special going on, but there's like you have two armor joints like here, as you can see. The arms itself can move to the side about almost 90 degrees. If you can work your way through, you can go 90 degrees like that. And then you have a only 90-degree bend, which is kind of surprising. And then a 360 twist is no problem at all. And you have your typical 360 twist on the arm itself, and the hands are your typical ball jointed hands. But at the same time, these hands are the 1.0 hands, but in a different style. Usually you would see the same hands of a 1.0, but this one has its own fingers, like more roundish fingers. So letting you guys know. Okay, one issue I have, and also I can see all the panel lines, and any black lines you see here are all panel lined. One issue I had was the waist section was the side skirts, where the red section would keep falling off, so I actually had to glue each side of them. Not to the kit itself, but basically I glued the inner frame of the side skirt to the outer armor part. Okay, front skirt, they have a lot of movement. They're all separate pieces. The back skirt is one single piece, so there's no movement. This thing does have a size, well, not almost a size swivel, but not really, because it's if you actually see the build, it sort of looks like a side swivel, but it doesn't. It's not really a side swivel. And since the main connection is a ball joint on the leg, it kind of feels like a side swivel, but it's not really. Because of the clunkiness of the leg, it can almost go 90 degrees to the front. And then you get a decent double jointed bend onto the legs, and you can see some cool, inner frame coming out. So that's that. Also, because of it's usually the, not front, but the side skirt armor is the part that usually hinders like doing a certain pose and such. And this is where I should explain the leg. Now you have this latch here, you can open it up, and there you have this empty section. What you can do is just clip the, oh wait, now you can clip the main grenade onto the main arm like that. I'm not sure if you can see that, but you can clip it on there like that, and then latch shut. There we go. So each leg has one grenade, and one thing interesting about the feet is that not only they are a like typical ball jointed feet, but you have this additional movement on the feet like that. So this does help doing certain poses. Okay, that's pretty much it for the kit itself. Now let's get on to its accessories. Now I pretty much explained the missile pod launchers, so I'm not gonna show or explain more about these. Back then I thought they were like torpedo launchers for underwater usage, but apparently not. Now for the beam rifle. Now interesting part is that you actually get a clear piece for the scope. However, it comes in clear, which if you see the drawings, manual, everything that's mentioned, it's supposed to be yellow. Apparently I was going to use yellow, but my Gundam yellow marker has, like, I don't know why, but has dried up, so I wasn't able to use it, so I colored it inside gold, and I don't know, it turned out pretty well, I think. Thanks to the stiff, yeah, the 1.0 hands for the Guncannon is extremely stiff, so you won't have much issues like, having holding issues with the Guncannon's hand. Of course, if you can get the position right, it shouldn't be a problem. Now, currently I'm having one finger holding it awkwardly. Okay, give me a second. Yeah, so it's kind of tricky to hold stuff using the 1.0 hand for the Guncannon, but once you get it in there, it shouldn't be a big issue. Come on. There we go. And it holds it pretty well. Sorry for the camera focus, it does that time to time. So you have it holding it, nothing too special. Also, if you want, you can move the scope to the side so you can make it look like it's trying to aim something. It holds it pretty well, no issues at all. It's a pretty simple build, just snap two big pieces and add the barrel, scope, and whatever. So that's that for the beam rifle. It's a really nice looking beam rifle in my opinion. I actually do prefer this design compared to the ARC 78 to, personally. Now the only accessory left is those open hands. Now, this is how they work. Now, first of all, you gotta take off the hands. But however, on the wrist parts, you have this piece popping out together. I don't know why if this was really necessary, but they have these. It's not a really round piece. You have these extra hinges to the side, and there's these pegs on next to the ball joint. You gotta match those parts up. I'm not sure why this was necessary, maybe for a more, I don't know, more secure connection, but I think this was kind of an overkill thing. I think it would have worked without those extra pegs or hinges, whatever you call those. Now, once again, once you match those up, now usually in the manual it explains as if it's going to stay once you pull off the hand, but not really the case. Now, the reason why you have these articulated open hands is because if you've seen the original series of Gundam of the anime, you might see the Guncannon doing a certain pose, and also that is the main reason why we have that extra joint on the neck. Now, I'm not really sure if I'm doing this pose correctly, but you are capable of doing the, firing its cannon while it's like on the ground pose like that. So that is pretty much it for the main purpose of those open hands with articulated wrist and the extra joint on the neck. Okay, so that was pretty much it for the review of the Master Grade Guncannon. As you might notice, I did not explain how far the legs go to the side because they don't. The side skirt armor does not allow to go to the side that much. So yeah, I've been reviewing some old Master Grades, and there's still a few more that I'm going to review. So just letting you guys know, this is a great kit, but at the same time, it does require a 2.0 or some sort of updated version. So I wouldn't mind seeing one, but that does not mean this kit itself is a bad kit. If you are a big fan of the Federation kits, or especially the Guncannon variants, this is one kit that won't disappoint you at the same time. And there are some limitations on the articulation, especially on the legs, but overall, it's a great kit. It basically does what a Master Grade does, and has all the features of the Guncannon itself. So yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching the review. If you enjoyed or found this review helpful, please like my videos and also subscribe to my channel. I still have more kits to buy and build, so please stay tuned. Until then, see you guys next time!